APBioNetTalks is preparing to stream the meeting. It's just doing as many awkward things as it can when I say we're really going live, so I apologize. I think this is the URL. So if anyone wants to share this with friends or family or anything like that, that's the URL. I'm just going to add it to the very head of the document as well. YouTube stream. Okay, is Otter still thinking, Malvika?
Yeah, Otter is quite slow today.
Slow today.
So I'm trying to see if I can open that in my phone.
Okay, I'm going to go over the intro stuff that most of us already know then while we're just waiting to get started. So, welcome everyone to the first week of graduations. We have 3 graduation calls for Open Life Science today. My name is Yo Yehudi, and I have with me the other Open Life Science co-founders, Malvika Sharan and Berenice Batu. And we also have Amit Zhang, who is a co-host for Open Life Science for round 2. So today we have, I think, 6 project leads. I just want to check, everyone is frozen on my screen. Am I still hearable?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Right. Yes, today we have 6 project leads who are presenting what they've been working on over the last 16 weeks. And they have been coming from all sorts of different areas. Whilst we call ourselves Open Life Science, we very much cover many other domains of science as well. So there's quite an interesting different variety of calls that we have today. So each group of people has about 5 minutes to present. We will be recording this on a timer, but with only 6, it looks like we may forgive you if you run a minute or 2 over, so long as we're not too much longer than that anyway. So just double checking if we have had any luck with the audio yet, with the auto transcriptions. Okay, right, we are still waiting to get the transcription stream. It's being very slow this morning, I apologize. So I just want to check if there's anyone who's planning to graduate today who hasn't added themselves to the list of the 6 graduating people quickly. And you can type it in the chat as well, because I'm aware there are actually quite a lot of people in the call, so you don't have to speak up if you would rather not at this point. So no, I'm assuming that everyone who has intended to present has actually pre-registered. Okay, maybe I can try the Otter stream. Let me see if it works for me.
Yo, don't try. It's almost there. So give me like 5 more seconds.
Okay.
Okay, it's in the chat now, the Otter link.
Okay, amazing. Right, so we also have live transcripts just so that you can follow textually as well as following via speech as well. So let's just also add that to the YouTube stream if we can, that Otter link, and also add it to the chat notes. But without further ado, I think we are going to actually make a start. So I think we're just going to launch straight into presentations. And so the very first person that we actually have that is going to be presenting today, Mohammed, how are you feeling? Are you ready?
Well, I'm excited. I am excited for the presentation, sad it came to an end, and nervous I'm going, as the first, so like all together.
Okay, so do you need to share your screen?
Oh yeah, sure. Right. I cannot because the host has disabled the screen share.
Give it a go again.
All right. Yep. There we go. Do I start right away?
Absolutely, you have 5 minutes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Mohammed Sheikh, and here's a quick summary about me. I studied bioinformatics at UM in Malaysia, then came back to my home country, doing my master's. And at the meantime, I'm working in a government-funded project with Gökçen. That's where I met her, and she studied biology, doing her master's in medical genetics in Istanbul University. I would like to start like how my OLS journey started. I saw this message in a Telegram group, found it interesting, applied for it. Well, I did not have much hope for it, but thank God I got accepted, and then my OLS journey began. Later on, I was telling my colleague Gökçen about this awesome program that she has to apply to, and she was very much into it. She just couldn't wait, and she wanted to be involved in this as soon as possible. And thanks to all us organizers, they agreed to her to join in right away. Okay, let me tell you about my project, how we started and where we ended up. The project was about creating a single pipeline for taxonomical analysis with widely used tools, and we were going to create a script for the widely used tools. And why we picked this? Because there has been a boom in metagenomic analysis, and the first step in this analysis is finding about your community, which actually shapes your workflow, whether you will be able to effectively conduct your experiment. And the problem in here is you need to know about coding, and you need to have computing power. On the video, you can see the script. In here, it was written in Bash, and where all the widely used tools they run automatically. But there were some problems. We had our meeting, expert meeting on the 11th week with Dr. Bernice, and she pointed out her concerns, which were, like we were trying to apply the FAIR principles, but we were still depending on some computing power and operating system, because the script was written in Ubuntu. And with our discussions, we decided to move it to the Galaxy platform. And Dr. Muller was asking me if I was frustrated because I had to put my current work away and going into a new black box. Well, actually, no, because as my CFO, Dr. Asif, says, you go into darkness and you come out shining. And I believe that at the end, you will have a better outcome. Yes, it was scary because I was going to dive into a black hole, but the scariest moment is always before you start. Then after that, things only can get better. And here's the workflow that we created in Galaxy. And it's as simple as possible. It just runs on a web browser. You just upload your data, then you go to the workflow, you run it. No need to worry about your computing power, your coding knowledge, or operating system. That's it. I mean, we achieved our aims all in one. Of course, and the plus side is this with much more flexibility. You have it in here. You can change your databases, your parameters as you wish, which you will not be able to do it if there was with the previous script. And you can view it, visualize it with the tools. And of course, there were other problems on the Galaxy too, like some tools they didn't work properly, or there were no the tools that we wanted were not on the Galaxy. But thanks to Galaxy community and admins, they were really quick and responsive, and we made the increase, and they quickly wrapped them up and made it available, and we came up with our workflow. And My OLS journey was a big revelation if I compare myself before and after. It has changed me in many ways, even the simplest ways like greeting. Right now, I used to say like guys, and right now it's folks. I found out it's not appropriate, and I thought I knew open source. Turned out I didn't know without the license and code of conduct. I get a chance to know about lots of great platforms like Zenodo, Figshare, and Galaxy, and concepts, amazing concepts like Pair, Ally Skill. And I started this project with a small project right now. I have a big dream that is I'm going to work on even after this program ends. And yep, thank you. One does not simply say thank you without a meme, so here's it.
Beautiful and really well on time. So great job. So can we have a huge round of applause for Mohammed? I especially really liked the before and after things that you showed that you'd learned so far. So if anyone has any questions they'd like to ask, you can ask them in the Zoom chat, or you can alternatively ask them also in the Google Doc, or you can unmute. Either of these is fine. That's 3, so any of those will be fine. I will leave it quiet for a moment. Okay, I have a question myself, Mohammed. Oh, is there one in the notes? Just a nice job. Yes. So I just have a question myself. I noticed that the OLS applications have been shared in a really big group in that WhatsApp screen job, the screen share that you'd shared with us early in your presentation. And I was wondering whether anyone else from that group was likely to be applying. Did you know?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a data science interest group. I shared it there too, and there were like 300 people. Actually only 2 applied, me and Helia, and we shared there again that OLS-3 is going. So, and if anyone wants to come in, they can just come in.
Awesome. Okay, we have a couple of notes in the chat. Wonderful job, Mohammed, and sorry, I'm very bad about pronouncing names. Is it Gotchen? Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And I'm so proud to be your mentor, to be part of your journey. That's from Mallory. And Bastian shares that one of his students is currently preparing a metagenome project that does 16S and ITS sequencing, and that we might give your workflow a try. So great job. Cool. I think we're going to move on. Yeah, everyone. Ooh. Sorry, if you had something you wanted to say, apologies.
I'll just type it. It's all right. Thanks a lot for everything.
Awesome. Okay, Bailey, are you ready to share?
I believe so.
Awesome. So over to you.
Looks like it's working on my end.
Looks good. It's not full screen yet, though.
Yeah.
I think you want present.
Well, I'm going to have to change tabs through this, so I might just leave it like this if it's legible.
Looks good for me. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So my name is Bailey Harrington, and I am the project lead for Chronic Learning. And this is a project that began over the summer. I created this graphical abstract as part of a competition. And this shows a common analysis technique in my field. It's nothing very complex. But after I created it, I was contacted by a professor from another university who I'd never met, who'd been asked to teach this topic and didn't really know how. And she wanted to know if she could use my abstract in her slides. And this made me realize that in academia, people are probably quite frequently asked to teach things that they're not very familiar with. And I know I personally have been in a situation where I'm kind of switching fields and trying to learn the basics of something like human genetics, and I can't find simple explanations of analysis techniques or other concepts that are important. And so I came up with this idea for an open access online repository of educational materials that could be used by people who needed to teach something they were unfamiliar with or were trying to learn something new. And shortly after I came up with this idea, I heard about open life science and applied with this project. So one of the big considerations with this is I want this to have a very, very broad scope, which means that I need a lot of contributors to be involved because there's no way that I can cover all of the topics I would like to myself. And that means that I need ways to convince people to participate. And I want them to feel like they're also benefiting by participating. So I was very interested in looking at ways of incentivizing and rewarding contributions. So in academic settings, there tend to be some common ways of doing this. You either get your name on a publication, or making things easily citable can help incentivize people to participate. But those methods don't really work for non-academics, and I don't have money for this project. So one of the things that I've done is engaged with people on Twitter and in the cohort about what they would want to get out of participating. And there were some really nice ideas. So one is when you have volunteers, when they start, ask them to set some personalized goals so that they have something that they want to learn that they're going to get out of it, and then do what you can to facilitate them learning that in the course of the project. Another big concern is justification of time spent. So people would like help convincing their supervisors that spending their time on the project is worthwhile, or figuring out how to sell it on a CV when they're applying for things down the road. Another thing that's very important is a welcoming community that appreciates contributions of any size. Some people might not be able to do a lot, but still want to feel like they can do what they can. And then creating leadership opportunities for people who want to be more involved, which also helps the project have a longer lifespan because you don't have one person trying to do everything. So I've got some examples of some materials that I have made. These are some diagrams that show control flow in a program, some computer programming. And I made these for a class that I taught on Python, but they're broadly applicable to other programming things. And so these are currently in a different GitHub repository, but this is an example of one type of material that I like to provide. And then my other focus in the program has been on the infrastructure behind the project. And so I have spent a not insignificant amount of time creating a website from scratch, which was a lot of work because I'd never done HTML before. But I now have a website that has some of the different information about how you can contribute to the project, and information about how to get in touch, and the team, which right now is me. Doesn't have resources here yet, but it will. And that is kind of it. I would like to thank my mentors, Melissa and Piv, who were awesome, as well as the different experts that I spoke with for the project. And then the the cohort leaders and everyone who contributed to the conversations around how to reward contributors and the project generally.
Amazing. Huge round of applause, everyone, for Bailey. Especially for making your very first website despite having gone in not knowing HTML. So like it must be so rewarding to just see that up there like glued to the internet. So does anyone have any questions like before? Sorry. Yeah, we have a comment from Kirsty about love those diagrams, so cool. Likewise, I was just thinking, wow, these are gorgeous while I was looking at those.
The diagrams are made using a site called excalidraw.com. It's a GitHub project and open source tool. It's very nice, very easy.
I'm especially delighted to hear that that is an open source tool that one can reuse, and it looks so nicely hand drawn as well. I honestly thought that you had scribbled them and scanned them or something.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Different styles, but I do like that one.
We have some nice feedback. So Melissa says, well done. It's been wonderful to see this develop from an idea into physical things and a solid plan for community engagement. And looking forward to swapping ideas with you. And Hilya says, Bailey, I'm working with a GWAS data analysis too, so this would be very beneficial for those working in the field. Congrats, Bailey. Okay, I'm just going to double check whether there's any questions on the, we have another congratulations in the Google Doc about the well done on the website, but I think we're going to move to our next person. So I'm going to hand over the hosting to Emmy for a bit. Emmy, over to you.
Thank you, Yo. Yeah, next we have Turing data stories. So Camilla, David, Kevin, and Sam, over to you when you're ready.
Thanks very much, Emmy. And let me share my screen. Okay, this is a joint effort. So we're going to try and rattle through this. You'll hear from all of us. But whoever wants to take it away can start. Kevin.
Cool. Thank you, everyone, and really thanks everyone for kind of joining us today. So I'm Kevin Shu. So I work in the UK government, but I'm one of the co-leads for Turing Data Stories. I'm also joined by my wonderful other co-leads, David, Camilla, and Sam. And so Dave, could you move on to the next slide, please? Great. So I'm just going to kind of get started. Our project vision, so we actually already had some kind of project before joining Open Life Science. The purpose of our project was to kind of build this sort of open community built around these data stories. And we kind of seen these data stories as this mix between open data, code, narrative, explanation, visuals, all of this kind of built together in order to be able to deliver a piece of content that is educational and kind of explains something interesting in society. We have kind of this picture here about our project vision, which was built through Open Life Science, which is one of our, I think, a really good product of the program for us as well, because it's helped us kind of develop our thinking. The next slide, please, Dave. Thank you. And now just to kind of provide a bit more of a motivation behind our project. So our project kind of started back in around May time, COVID-19, of course, affecting everyone. And back around this time, we kind of felt the UK government's data reporting has different kinds of issues. So the data wasn't actually really in kind of a structured data format that could reasonably be used for different kinds of analysis. It was also around this time that the UK government introduced their kind of furlough scheme, where we knew a lot of people were very interested in developing their data science skills, but may have lacked the kind of technical skills or know-how, or even maybe they felt that the current content was not perhaps as engaging as it could have been. So we felt like there was kind of this sort of gap in the market where we could support these different people. We could build these different stories that were interesting, engaging, relevant, but were also pedagogical and can actually help people develop their skills. So I'm going to hand it over to Sam now, who will be able to talk a bit more about what Turing Data Story actually is.
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, so our project is based around these data stories. So what is a data story? Well, it's a Jupyter notebook that documents an interesting insight using real-world open data. And they should be told in a pedagogical way so people can learn from them. They should be fully reproducible so people can tinker and run themselves. They should be transparent in terms of the data provenance and the review process, and they should be peer reviewed by other contributors before being published. So this is an open source project. Anyone can submit a data story, and we don't necessarily expect very complicated, sophisticated analyses, just interesting stories told with data. Next slide, please. So at the start of the OLS-2 project, we already had a group of colleagues wanting to use data science to look at societal issues. And we had the start of a data story looking at COVID-19 mortality and social deprivation in England. And it's worth mentioning that we're a 4-person team that were already kind of off the ground at the start of OLS-2. So we want to acknowledge that we did have a bit of a head start in terms of where we were at. And now that we come to the close of OLS-2, where are we at? So we have a finished data story, which is on our GitHub page and on our Fast Pages site, and you can click the link through to see it there. And Camilla's just shared that in the chat. And we have 3 or 4 more stories in the works from collaborators as well, which is really nice. And thanks to OLS-2, we have a much better idea of exactly what we want to do and also how we can achieve our goals. And in particular, we want to build a community around this project. So over to Dave.
Thanks, Sam. I want to very quickly talk about how Open Life Science has actually enabled us to achieve these results. And, you know, the program gave us a structure, a really clear path of activities, and it helped us step back and think. And that enabled us to develop the future for Turing data stories. It drove our focus. And a future that's about enabling others and how to stimulate and embrace that sort of fresh community engagement. The program made me, at least, disciplined to find the time to pursue this. And do remember, we are all volunteers. We're doing this in our own time. But above all, the cohort, our amazing mentor, Yo, Yehudi, the speakers, the organizers have all been super friendly and caring. It is a big, happy family, and you can see that today. So, you know, we've been very lucky to access and learn from experts, and a special thank you to all of those at the bottom. They let us benefit from their extensive experience of larger and more successful projects. It helped us frame the pedagogical aspects of Turing data stories, so on coding, on data science, and sort of societal levels, and how to juggle those 3 strands of communication. Social media will become an essential platform to spread knowledge of our project, but equally to inspire others to join us on the journey and to contribute. We've been inspired to think about how those with no prior knowledge can find us, be welcomed, and know where they fit in.
Another great benefit we got from the program is the cohort calls, where we got like very good speakers who gave us some great ideas that we ended up implemented in a project, from like issue templates, personas, contributing guidelines, all these kind of ideas of how to welcome a community into the project. Also, we got some great ideas from the breakout rooms. In fact, the way we deploy our page comes from these Fast Pages, which was something that was suggested to one of our team during a breakout room. And also we have met some potential collaborators with other OLS-2 projects. So chronic learning, who just was presented, we have a lot in common, and I hope we can collaborate in the future. So if we go to the next slide, well, what's next for us? Well, we have one story published, and we have another story who's going to be published soon that is looking at US election data, so quite topical and relevant these days. We also want to do an official launch of the project. We have a Twitter account, but it's been a bit quiet because we still want to launch properly. And we need contributors. This is a place where we want people, data scientists, to have a place where to publish their data stories. But we also want to see how we can establish collaborations between people who might have very good ideas but not have the technical skills with technical folks. And like that, we will try to do it by different ways, from social media engagement. We're organizing some hack sessions for ideas or code, and also linking to other open science projects. So if we go to the final slide, so just join us, please. We have a Slack. If you click on that link, you should be able to join our Slack. We also have our GitHub page and our Twitter, who hopefully will be a bit more vocal soon. So thank you very much, and we can't wait to welcome you to our project. Thanks.
Thank you very much, David, Camilla, Sam, and Kevin. Folks, if you have any questions for the team, please put them in the Zoom chat. Oh, sorry, round of virtual applause, of course. Congratulations on finishing and kicking start the beginning of such an exciting platform and stories. Thank you very much. Folks, if you have any comments or questions for the team, please put them in the Zoom chat or in the Google Doc. We have a comment. Kirsty already. Love the walnut brains. +1. Yeah, please feel free to continue with your questions. I do have a question, if I may. I'm curious to what you think about sort of how folks can like not write a whole story, but maybe contribute to other stories, like with like maybe comments, or you already have reviews. So I'm wondering sort of if you've given that a thought and what you'd like to see next on your platform.
Camilla, do you want to take this? Because I know you care very much about the sort of roles and persona here.
Yeah, so something we've been thinking a lot about during this program is like a whole story can be a lot of work. So we will be happy to receive even like just an idea that I know this data set exists and I think it could be interesting, and that should be already enough to like spark the idea for someone else to carry that out. So and that will you will be acknowledged for the contribution of the idea, because that's very important. So yeah, there is not a contribution too small really for us, and yeah.
Yeah, love it. Just love so much of that comment. No contribution is too small. We have a lot of love for the team as well from your mentor, Yo. It's been a delight working with you. Beautiful, just beautiful to see. Sorry, how are we doing on time? I guess we should move. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's 3 of the 6, and we've got 22 minutes, so we should probably move on.
Thank you so much, Yo. Yeah, thank you so much to the team. Next we have Kate, whenever you're ready.
Right, thanks for that, Ron. Great, hope you can hear me. Yeah, really inspiring presentation so far. Thank you, everybody. So my project, this is an aside from my main research. So it's towards open and citizen-led data informing the decarbonisation of existing housing. So there's many measures that we can add to existing housing, and each one of those can have an impact on energy demand, indoor air quality, and other more qualitative factors such as like enjoyment of the space and aesthetics, etc. As yet, we don't have a big community around open source data in relation to this. So I was quite excited when I saw this opportunity, and just a big thanks straight away to Ariel. She's been my mentor and she's been fantastic throughout the project. So the problem is that housing retrofit evaluation methods vary. So post measures, there's no standard way of collecting data to evaluate whether it's successful or not. And we have quite big targets to get to zero carbon or near zero carbon by 2050 or earlier. And we have limited open data. And ethics is quite a big concern around this, because we're talking around the home, its personal environment. So I'm quite interested to find out how we can overcome that potential by empowering citizens to share data to inform the community in return for that information to make more informed decisions themselves. So my aim is to develop an open source protocol for the evaluation methods shared in GitHub. And hopefully this can improve reproducibility and build community. And then the user profiles I'm targeting at the moment are building energy data enthusiasts and researchers with interest in retrofit evaluation methods and citizen engagement. And hopefully the value would be a unique portal of data, methods, and that can be an open source community base, and then the base for citizen science methods, inclusive from the start. So my motivation, some of the early motivation actually came from joining some of the collaboration cafes on the Turing Way. And I haven't contributed directly to the Turing Way, but I took lots of inspiration from how that operates. It's like a breath of fresh air in terms of just working openly, sharing ideas, encouraging like global contributions. And I hadn't really thought about my work in that way before. So I started to have a look at what was out there in my field. And around 2017, there's a few researchers starting to pay attention to reproducibility. And this is a conference paper, Are We Heading Towards an Applicability Crisis in Energy Efficiency Research? And then we also have on the other side that we're in a climate emergency, and how should energy researchers respond? So I think there's space to explore this further, and there is an emerging community around these ideas. And I also went to the CSV conference, a couple of sessions that Malvika and Sarah pointed me towards, and that was really inspiring as well. So I've been developing ideas and community building, and I've presented some of my ideas around open source and citizen-led data at a couple of conferences in September, and that allowed some ideas from the academic community. And then I've been developing community. There's a really active group called the Eco Home Lab up in Manchester. Once I shared my ideas with them, they were already thinking in a similar way, and they invited me to present to around 22 open source data and home energy enthusiasts and researchers. And I hope that this will become the start of a long-term collaboration with them. And they're also working with the Open Energy Monitor team, who have lots of data and tools already shared on GitHub. And there's a building energy research group at Loughborough who, again, have just started a GitHub page. And I hadn't used GitHub before, so this has been a real eye-opener to what's already out there and what I can already tap into and find people to collaborate with. And then the website that I've created on GitHub, which is just in the middle there, that's been great as a starting place to just share with them and say, I'm new to GitHub, this is what I've developed. It'd be great to speak around these ideas and try to work together in different ways. So I've started my protocol. At the moment, it's quite brief. I think I've been working through this and I've read lots of the protocols, there's quite a lot more detail and data that I can add to this. This has been an aside project, so this is really just the beginning of where this will go. So the next steps are to continue refining information and data, continue developing an inclusive community, encourage contribution, progress the protocol for the citizen science idea, co-create tools for co-design persona groups, and just continue learning and working openly. Just on the right there, just a few things that I've learned. There were so many, and I agree with the others that all of the speakers have been fantastic. So collaboration and open working is fun. It's much better than just sitting as an individual, working through problems on my own. And creating a global community around shared ideas and values now seems possible, especially via GitHub and some of the open reading groups I've witnessed this year. So I've learned all about README, files, licensing, contributor guidelines, web page development, just the beginning of that. I've learned a little bit about data indexing. Thank you to Jez for that. Road mapping, agile working, ally skills and self-care and how important they are in any community. And then also that time spent in all of this is valuable. I wasn't exactly encouraged to spend time on this, but it's been really rewarding. So thank you all. And lots more that I haven't included there. The list is getting too long already. So big thanks, especially to my mentor, Ariel, and Malvika for pointing me towards this programme. For running the programme so well along with the others. And then I met with Jez and Meg, who provided some fantastic ideas and inspiration along the way as experts, and then also to Emmy for co-leading the programme. And also just another nod to the whole community, the Open Life Science community have been really inspiring along the way. And I've used the Turing Way diagram there because that was one of my early inspirations. So thank you. That's the end. And yeah, do keep in touch. I put my Twitter there if anybody's interested in the ideas.
Thank you so much, Kate. Huge round of virtual applause for Kate. I'm just so inspired by the drive that you have and how you take all that you learn, you can apply it. It's really inspiring personally. Thank you so much. Folks, if you have any comments for Kate, please more than welcome to put them in the Zoom chat or the Google Doc. We already have a couple of comments just reading through now. Agree with you, Kate. Lot to learn. Yeah, definitely. So much learned during the project and more so afterwards as well. Just the beginning of the learning journey. They said, really impressive. I can tell how much you care. Kirsty's just very impressed and lovely way to finish a year with people working on the projects. And
Thank you. Thank you. I think I'll keep these comments actually on, I'll take them and put them on the end of my slides just for encouragement later. Thank you all.
There's a question from Malvika. So how has your work been received in your field?
Yeah, thank you, Malvika. So it's been interesting. So I've had more direct engagement and response from researchers and teams outside academia. So the Carbon Co-op in Manchester have been really interested in what I'm doing because they're already thinking through similar ideas in terms of creating more open source data, possibly through an open ethical data cooperative. And that's something I forgot to mention actually, that I've joined a co-creation of that. The idea is that they would then share data between members and between researchers who could look and like help them to use that data to benefit their own homes and energy systems. And then the academic community, I haven't yet encouraged contribution from the academic building energy group that I found, but I will. I'm waiting for the right moment. I think I'm a little bit nervous, but generally it's been quite positive and it's been really rewarding to like just speak to people who have similar ideas.
Thank you so much. Ariel, love the idea of the co-creation cooperative. Yep, I'd love to learn more about that as well. Really, really lovely work. Thank you so much. If we don't have any more questions for now, we will have next, I'm hoping I didn't mispronounce your name, Celia. Whenever you're ready.
Sorry, there was some background noise there. I didn't quite hear what you were saying.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, no, sorry. If we don't have any further questions, we will have our next and final presenter today. Celia, is that how you pronounce your name? I'm so sorry if I mispronounced.
My turn?
Yeah, it's your turn. Sorry. I have a lot of background noise. I apologize.
All right. So let me share my screen. How Zoom. Hang on. Camera. How to make it? How to make Zoom allow camera? Hang on.
Within giving co-hosting powers.
Then find accessibility. Hang on.
Sorry, are you having to hop through some operating system permissions things at the minute?
Because I'm changing computer, so all right. I think I can do now. All right, I'll try again. Okay. All right.
Perfect. Yeah, we can see your slides.
Oops. Sorry. I think I messed up with this. Sorry. All right. So can you see my screen now?
Yep.
I don't know how to make stop of that thing.
Don't worry, everyone's just enjoying their Zen moments.
I think I accidentally turned on this one. What should I do? Hang on. Sorry, let me mute myself.
Would it be easier if you unshared your screen for a minute?
One, I have to stop this. Hang on.
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay.
Well, we should definitely have intermittent music breaks. I think that's a great idea.
Actually, at one of the conferences I was at last week, when one of
All
the
right.
awkward
Issue has been fixed. Sorry, it's an app named Angel or something, and it plays the background music. Sorry.
No worries.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen again. Thank you, everyone. So my name is Hilya. I'm working in Genetics Research Center of CRC. My OLS project is APBioNetTalks, a platform to share bioinformatics talks, tutorials, and trainings. And this is my colleague in APBioNet, Muhammad Asif Khan, and he is also here today. So what motivates us is to provide open access to scientific knowledge. We believe that science is a collective endeavor, and therefore should be passed on to others in order to make research more reproducible and also transparent and inclusive. And there's also imbalance between the demand for highly skilled bioinformatician and the supply of bioinformatics LET providers, especially those that are open access. And then the third one is to communicate research in bioinformatics to public in order to bridge the gap between research and education or academic. And over the years, Asia Pacific Bioinformatics Network or APBioNet have been doing a education, bioinformatic education, training, and learning in especially in Asia Pacific region. So we do it using our platform such as INCOP, INSIP, and then Bioinformatics Workshop Fiesta, Bioinformatics Registry, and APBioNetTalks will be the latest in our initiative. You can learn more about us on apbionet.org. Our vision is to facilitate the discovery and sharing of bioinformatics, and our mission is to bring the latest developments, know-how, and trainings related to the field. The value that we propose is inclusive, so we will allow any individuals from communities to contribute a talk, including PhD students. So everyone is invited to give the talk and showcase their research to the wider audience for free. And the second one is open access. It is free of charge either for the speakers or the users or attendants or attendees. And then the third principle is community empowerment. So we strive to empower early career researchers, students, and less privileged group by incorporating them in the team. And then also global, so it will enable people from around the world to take part in any role. These are our milestones. At first, it's the idea. So it was around the same time with OLS-2 application. So we proposed the idea for the OLS project. And then during OLS project, we created the GitHub issue canvas vision statement. And we also mapped problem, solution, key metrics, values, vision, contributors, users, resources. And then with OLS, we learned to comment on each other GitHub issue on the OLS repo and providing each other with feedback. And then we also, the third milestone is the GitHub training. This really comes in handy, especially like during this December, from 1 December until now, the main APBioNet website is down because of moving the server from Singapore to Malaysia. That's why this really beneficial in making the backups backup web page in GitHub. So we created in apbionet.github.io APBioNetTalks, and we also learn how to apply code of conduct and license for our projects. And then during Agile work development, we learned how to create milestone, which we applied here today. And then after that, we ready to invite our first speakers. And then the first round was done by sending out emails to many people. Among those, there are several answers that they schedule their talk with us. And then after that, we conducted OLS expert meeting, and thanks to my mentor Patricia, who has facilitated the meeting, and it really helped us to learn how to make the program stand out and how to encourage community contribution. Also the importance of this is social media, and at that time we also just realized that we actually need moderator for the talk. And then after that, we also present the project during Lightning Talk at INCOP 2020, the International Conference of Bioinformatics 2020. And then after that, we invite contributors and disseminate information through emails, OLS, Slack channel, Discord, Twitter, Facebook, and other social media and messaging platform. And then now it's today, this mark a major milestones, two major milestones in APBioNetTalks, which is inauguration and also inauguration of the APBioNetTalks, and also graduation. So overall, OLS helped us developing a project in more methodical, structural, inclusive, and friendlier for collaboration and contribution. So this is our GitHub website where we host the APBioNetTalks, and how it works in the APBioNetTalks. So there's a program coordinator in the center of it, and then also it reports to APBioNet president, exco, and members. And also the program coordinator will coordinate with APBioNet speakers, moderators, organizing, and scientific committee. So the organizing committee will help in managing the technical issues such as tech admin, co-host, and also writing the highlight of the talk and post in our website. Currently, we have 5 people, and they are some of them are Dr. Saranya, Dr. Diksha, Chong, Dibangana, and Rizkiana, and other people. So, and then we also have APBioNetTalks users that use this project for their need. And then one of the most important thing is the OLS community leader, mentor, and expert who has contributed a lot in this project and provide feedback and also guideline and mentoring. So some of the key messages from OLS that I really remember is that one is from my mentor, Patricia Harterich. You don't have to do everything. So it encourage collaboration. So in this case, we need to encourage collaboration and invite others. And then if we want to achieve further, then it should be with inclusivity and collaboration. And then offering file from the second one is from Malvika Sharan, the OLS leader, offer value exchange to contributors. At that time, we were thinking that how to make others contribute for free because we don't have money to do that. And Malvika said that, and also Emmy, I remember Emmy also said that you are here in the OLS. So I mean, what makes you here? So it's the value that you hold into that makes you do the project. So this is for encouraging contribution by offering value exchange. And then the third one from Pif Gopalasingham, the OLS expert, he asked a very good question. Where do you see APBioNetTalks in 1 year? So this catalyzed the question about sustainability of the project. So we see that in the we want it to be sustainable and want to pass on the leadership to others and invite more contribution. Also have the very regular having regular streaming over the years to come. So today marks the inaugural APBioNetTalks. We had a talk featuring Dr. Natalie Twine from Zero Australia with the title Revolutionizing Genome Analysis with Machine Learning and Cloud Computing. Just 3 hours before this OLS graduation, there were 366 registrants from 50 countries, but during the event it was only 86 attendees, but I think it's a good start. And we also had an inauguration speech from APBioNet founding convener. So these are the snapshots during the talk today. And this is our next talk that is scheduled on January 2021, which is a demo talk. Currently, we are still continuously open for feedback and contribution. We are continuously evolving and changing according to needs, and we really love to invite you to share your expertise or chair a session, being our moderator, and also join us in the team as organizing and scientific committee members. You can find about us more on OLS Slack channel and also on APBioNet GitHub page. And all of this happened because of the community contribution, the big support behind us, which are, so we would like to acknowledge and thank you to APBioNetTalks speakers and moderators, Open Life Science community, and Open Life Science leaders, Berenice, Yo, and Malvika, for your amazing mentorship and training program. And also Patricia Halterich, my OLS mentor, and Pirafin Gopalasingham, OLS expert that we invited during OLS expert meeting, Mark De Silva from NU Singapore from initial website setup of APBioNetTalk, the main APBioNetTalk website, I mean, and APBioNet contributors, Sharanya, Chong, Debangana, also Rizkiana, everyone who had contributed a lot, and thank you very much for all your teamwork and contribution. Also Riza Putranto for helping me with visual communication design. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Julia. That is absolutely amazing. A virtual round of applause, please, for Julia and her work. All right. Yeah, loads of folks just really amazed by the work that you've done, and the 366 registrations from 50 countries. It's absolutely just blows my mind. And Malvika had a comment about the program coordinator perhaps needing some help as you scale up, yeah, just really amazing work. I'm just looking at the chat and the Google Doc for maybe one teeny question, if there's any coming through. But all in all, just such nice work, and really great to see how far you've come also in that milestone map as well, just absolutely amazing. All right. I'm not seeing any questions, but folks, you can, of course, get in touch with Helia on Slack as well if you have any ideas or suggestions or questions. But I'll pass back to Yo.
Okay, we are a little bit over time, so I'm going to be as fast can be, which means I don't need to get quite so weepy about how proud I am that we have so many people graduating. But well done, all 5 of you. I can't count, I said 6 earlier. All 5 of you for the projects who actually have graduated. We are so proud. Just adding a note, Hilia, you had nearly 3 times as many people as are on this call right now at your APBioNetTalks. So such a great job. But yeah, let's wrap up. Everyone, huge round of applause for everyone else here. My mind is blown by like how much progress and how many things we've shared, that we've learned, that we've applied. I don't want to keep us on too much longer. There are 2 more graduation calls, one tomorrow and one the next day for more projects like this. We can't wait to see you there. And good luck, and hopefully we'll see many of you for OLS-3. And I think that's everything. Great job. Oh yes, photo session. We're right. We do need anyone, if you don't mind having your group photo potentially used for promotion material. So if you don't want it, don't. But can we have some like woo faces or something? Like we've just graduated. And this is happening in 3, 2, 1, and that's page 1. Hold on. I'm going to add this right to the bottom, and now I need to do page 2. And page 2. Keep on smiling. I hope your jaw isn't cracking. Thank you so much. Hold on. Okay, I've got both pages. Yeah. Okay. Now everyone, go relax to Hilia's music, and I think we are done. Have a great day, everyone. Love you all. Bye. Right, I actually am a little bit late for my next meeting, so I am going to hop straight off, but great job, everyone. It was really good.
Great. Yes, take care.
She's just waiting.
She's a back.
Yeah.
Baby.
So.